My commitment back is this, to the Prime Minister and to his radical woke coalition with the NDP. Here's my commitment. We as Conservatives are always happy to work with any party to collaborate and extend and advance the interests of Canadians. We are, but there will be no compromise on this point. Conservatives will not support any new tax increases, and we will fight tooth and nail to stop the coalition from introducing any.
Well, Pierre Poilievre became the sixth Conservative leader since 2015 with a resounding victory in the first round of voting over the weekend. He addressed a crowd of supporters at his caucus meeting this morning and issued a challenge to the Liberal Party to not raise taxes.
And we're joined right now live by Scott Reid, CTV News political commentator. Thank you so much for joining us on CB24 Live at Noon. First off, I'm sure you'd agree it was very impressive results over the weekend in terms of the support for Pierre Poilievre. And I'm curious, given the fact that how united this party seems to be, considering the last two leaders didn't quite get there, what's your take on the future of the Conservatives and how well do you think he's going to fare against a Justin Trudeau Liberal government?
Well, you're correct. It was a smashing victory. He's in complete command and control of his party. So all those people who said, oh my gosh, there's a struggle for the soul of the Conservative Party, whither might his future be? It's not divided. This is what the party wanted. By an overwhelming I think this guy is something we've never seen before in politics, and you got a hint of it in that clip there, talking about radical woke coalition. He referred to his opponent, Jean Charest, as corrupt, not a real conservative. I mean, this is a guy who talks in a way that we haven't seen before in politics. He is a rage mirror. If you're angry and you feel that you've been screwed over by government, left behind by the powers that be, that you've been disenfranchised by the establishment, he's your guy. He's going to bundle up all that anger, put it in the plainest terms, and throw it right back at you. So this guy's going to cut through politics like a dose of salts. And the temptation for Liberals and the Trudeau government to say, well, no one will really take this seriously. It's too harsh. It's too hard. It's too sharp. It's too extreme. Think again, this guy is also an extraordinarily effective political communicator. And when the economy ailing, this government's going to have to pull its boots on if it wants to keep up.
Yeah, and Scott, we know that for the past 3 years, Poilievre's campaign has been on the cost of living, which is affecting every Canadian today, especially with the rise of inflation. But for people who look at Pierre Poilievre and think, oh no, we're scared, this guy is like Trump, tell them why that's not the case, because he does use, populism in his language, but he's also not against immigration. He's not, campaigning against, dividing voters against racial or ethnic lines. So talk about the difference there.
Right. You won't be able to, freight him with, oh, he's, anti-Mexican, he's going to build a wall. That's not his truck and trade. But he is a grievance populist, like Trump, like the Republican Party in the United States. And, the Republican right and the Canadian conservative movement, I mean, they sort of, cross-fertilize when it comes to pure political tactics. So will you hear every single message and dog whistle that you hear from the likes of Ron DeSantis and Donald Trump from Pierre Poilievre? No. Will you see a similar approach to politics, a professional approach to politics? Yeah, a lot of it. So you're going to see a focus on his voters first. When he says no compromises, that's what he means. He's not going to pivot to the middle. He's not going to suddenly start assuming positions that he had before. This guy is volte-face, purebred. He's going to go hard. So he won't sound like Trump on all issues, but it will feel a little bit like the Republican right. And that these guys go hard and they pay first and most attention to the voters they have already.
Scott Reid, CTV News political commentator. We appreciate your time on CB24 Live at Noon. Thank you so much.
Thank you.